Hey guys, I just wanted to do a quick overview on the book Think and Grow Rich. Now, I'm not sure what you know about me and what you don't, but this is a book that's very, very near and dear to my heart. And I'll just give you a little bit of background. I'm going to go through this really quick, guys, but just give you a little bit of background about my story and why this is so important to me. Well, in April of 2012, I was written up in an article called The DIY Mind Doctors. And the DIY Mind Doctors was primarily basically told a story about how in 1999, actually right before the year 2000, I relocated with my family from the United States to Ireland with my wife and three small kids. And it basically told a story about how to get to that point where I was able to successfully make that transition, accomplish all the goals that I had set for myself, which included working for myself, a set amount of money that I was able to produce, the house I was going to live in, the school I was going to send my kids to, the time we were going to spend with my wife's family, the community that we were going to be involved in, literally every aspect, how it all came true. And the main reason being, well, because of the book Think and Grow Rich. And even to this day, it's 2023 right now, so you're talking almost a quarter of a century since I've relocated here, and literally everything that I basically goal that I set with my wife actually came true. So that's why I was written up in the article. But I don't want to spend the time talking about me. I want to talk about the book. So primarily, in case you're not familiar with Think and Grow Rich, it truly is a classic. It was written back in 1937 by Napoleon Hill, and in it basically outlines a 13-step process that anybody can use if you follow the steps to go ahead and produce the amount of money, the riches, whatever it is you desire. And the interesting thing is, it doesn't have to be all about money. Don't let the title distract you. Okay, don't get caught up or wrapped up in the title. Yes, you can use it to acquire riches, but you can also use it to improve your relationships, improve your level of health and fitness, your personal growth, literally every single aspect of your life. You can use Think and Grow Rich to go ahead and improve upon. And again, I know this firsthand because I've been doing it for a very, very long time. But just a little bit more about the book. Even though it was written back in 1937, it was one of the first personal development and personal growth books ever written. A lot of people would consider Napoleon Hill as kind of the father of the whole personal development movement. Um, and the story with Napoleon Hill goes that when he was a young man, he was introduced to Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie was a big steel magnate and one of the richest men, powerful men in the world at the time. And for a small meeting that was supposed to last maybe an hour or two, Napoleon Hill was a reporter for a local newspaper, and for a meeting that was supposed to take an hour, 2 hours, wound up being actually a few days. And at the end of the few days, Andrew Carnegie made a challenge to him. And primarily, what he did was he asked him if he would be willing to invest the next 20 years of his life researching what he believed was the formula how any man could become successful in this country. Now, obviously, it's not just restricted to the United States, it's global at this stage. But at the time, it was focused on the United States. And what Andrew Carnegie wanted Napoleon Hill to do is to go ahead and basically interview the most successful men in the world. And when I say men, it really was only men because truthfully, it was a different world back then. No disrespect, it's not meant to be sexist or anything else, but you got to remember this book was written 87 years ago, something like that at this stage. So it's been a long time. It really was a man's world back then. It was a completely different environment. And again, no disrespect to anybody. I'm not trying to sound sexist or anything like that. That's not what it's about. It's just that it was a different time then. But so what Andrew Carnegie did was he wrote a number of letters to some of the most powerful, successful, prominent individuals on the planet. at the time. I just give you an example. Over the 20 years, Napoleon Hill was introduced to individuals like Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Alexander Graham Bell, Charles Schwab, just to name very few. So it really was an amazing, unique opportunity for him. So as far as the process itself, I had mentioned to you it consists of a 13-step process. And each chapter is really the next step in the process. At the very beginning, Napoleon Hill talks about a secret that will reveal itself to you over a period of time, and it'll be revealed throughout the chapters of the book. Well, I don't want to spoil anything, or so I'll let you figure it out for yourself. But it is revealed in each and every chapter of the book, and it does become very clear once you're tuned in and once you're aware of it. But just close some of those out. I give you my top 5 takeaways from the book. So the first thing is, he talks about the secret. Now the interesting thing is, if you know the book The Secret, many believe that it was written based on the book Think and Grow Rich. I'm not 100% certain if that's the case or not, because I know there was a book before that, The Science of Getting Rich, by William Waddles, or Wallace Waddles, sorry. The Science of Getting Rich. I believe it was really more on that book, but it doesn't matter. They're both very similar. But the thing about The Secret, and this is why I was never a big fan of The Secret, it talks about the law of attraction, which, again, is part of Think and Grow Rich. However, the biggest difference between the two is Napoleon Hill and his formula. You have to do a lot more than just think and wish, and for these things to materialize, whether it be riches or improved relationships or improved health. You have to take action. But he gives you a formula how you can go ahead and create a burning desire that'll basically give you an internal drive that will go ahead and create the motivation and the momentum to go ahead and do what needs to be done when it needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. That's what's going to produce results. That's what I love about Think and Grow Rich. None of that is in The Secret. Truthfully, not a great fan of The Secret. I think it's very misleading. But regardless, so anyway, but the first thing is about The Secret, and in the very first thing, again, he talks about the desire, building a burning desire. And in there, each chapter is really designed is the next step in the process as far as building that burning desire. So that should give you a pretty good hint as far as what The Secret is right there. But again, each chapter is going to be the next step in the process, and it's all designed to help you to go ahead and do a couple things. Build a burning desire. But one of the ways you're going to build that burning desire is through your definite major purpose. Okay? Any modern day, whether it be Tony Robbins, whether it be Mel Robbins, whether it be, Les Brown, Jim Rohn, anybody over the last, since the book was published, say even the last 25 years, has all come down to creating some type of definite major purpose for yourself. Matter of fact, they all reference Think and Grow Rich. They all reference and give credit to Napoleon Hill. But a definite major purpose, primarily, there's a few things you're going to need to do, and it'll go through this in detail throughout the book. But it's going to talk about the power of repetition. The power of repetition is just all about conditioning yourself, saying things over and over and over again, not as affirmations, but basically saying it in such a way that you mix in very, very strong emotions. Powerful emotions. You pick your words very carefully, words that are going to resonate with you, words that are going to go ahead and they're going to create that strong emotion. So when you're saying it, it resonates. The reason you want to have it so much emotion to it, because it needs to be accepted as a belief internally. And if you can use the power of repetition mixed in with enough emotion, it's only a matter of time before your mind begins to believe that you can achieve exactly what it is you're trying to do. So many people kind of get caught up, and this is a problem I have with The Secret as well. They tell you to think about these things, say it over and over again. Yes, but if you don't mix in the emotion, you're never going to really, you're just fooling yourself. Your mind knows that's a load of nonsense. That you really can't produce this amount of money. You really can't produce this level of success. You really can't, create this, global empire that you're looking to create for yourself. Your brain knows that's nonsense. It's all bullshit, basically. So it doesn't accept it. It doesn't believe it. And again, and because of that, it never creates that drive. But if you can mix in enough emotion, and he'll step you through the process how to do that, well, then you're going to create an internal belief where your mind starts to believe that, yes, I actually can achieve this. And then that's when the magic really happens. It basically starts to condition yourself, because that's all this is, really a program of how to condition your mind, by using the power of repetition, by mixing in strong emotions to build that belief internally, which will then, your subconscious mind will start to work with you instead of against you. So in other words, if you need to take some particular action, you need to finish a project, you need to do certain activities, you need to make certain calls, you need to, complete such and such a program so you fully understand the steps that are involved in order for you to complete your goal, whatever it is, instead of saying, you don't need to do this, it's a waste of time, you can do it later. No, your mind knows, it's been conditioned to understand that you really do want this. And it knows, because you've said it over and over again with such emotion, it believes you can achieve it. So therefore, instead of telling you, you can take a break today, you don't need to do it today, you can do it later, it's not that important, it tells you, no, you have to do this. You have to go ahead and you have to make that call. You have to take that action. You have to go ahead and move towards, do the things that are required, that need to be done, even when you don't feel like doing them, in order to produce the results. That's the real power behind a definite major purpose. And another thing that I really get from the book, and I know all of this firsthand, is it can be used for anything. Yes, the book says Think and Grow Rich, and it can be used, and it is used to produce, wealth. But it can be for anything. And again, I know all of this. And if you know anything about my story from the One Source Personal Development Network that I created, you'll learn all about my story. I'm not going to bore you with it now, but I use the exact same system to improve my relationships with myself and literally everybody in my life on a consistent basis. I used it to improve my health and fitness, to go to the point where I was in horrible shape at one stage of my life, grossly overweight, a bunch of medical conditions, and I basically turned everything around in my life by using this system, creating a definite major purpose around my health, around my relationships, around my personal growth, and my finances. So I would really, really encourage you, at the end of the day, take some time, go ahead and pick up your copy of Think and Grow Rich, but don't just breeze through it. Study it. Implement the steps. Really research it in detail. Underline it. Read it over and over again. Read it to the point where you can basically say the 13 principles, all the steps that are involved. If you do need any support whatsoever, we're there to help you. Okay? You can go ahead. There's a couple things you can do if you're interested. First, I've created a personal development system that's based around a lot of the principles in Think and Grow Rich, but it's all based around how to control and direct your focus, achieve more balance in your life, live with a sense of purpose, all based on Napoleon Hill's definite major purpose, and through the power of repetition, how to condition your mind to work with you instead of against you. It's called, Personal Development, a Systematic Approach by myself. You can go on and you can buy it on Amazon, but you don't need to. You can go ahead and if you just go to www.onesourceworkbook.com, I'll put a link in the description. You can go ahead and you can download the free PDF version, no cost. So because and it really will, I can guarantee you, guarantee you, I've worked with coaches, consultants, NLP practitioners, individuals, high level executives, down right down the line to, single individuals just trying to get by and put food on the table all around the globe at this stage. It works. You can go ahead if you do need any additional information. You can go ahead. Well, you can download this mind map here that I created. I'm not sure if that's something of interest, but you can. I'll put a link in the description to that as well. Or you can feel free to go ahead and contact us here at One Source Personal Development Network. In case you're not familiar, we're a global network of personal development consultants and coaches that use a systematic approach to produce results with our clients. But you can contact us here at One Source ICT, stands for One Source International Coaching and Training.com, or just drop a quick email to info@onesource.com. And I would ask you if you would do me a big favor, because it really does help out. If you get any value whatsoever, just please do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe button. It really does help us out with the algorithm. If you want to hit the notification bell, that would be a big plus too. We tend to upload videos here on a consistent basis. But that's my take on Think and Grow Rich. And again, it is something that means a lot to me. It's something that's very, very dear and near to my heart. I still, all these years later, I read it over and over and over again. And every time I do, I find something new. So other than that, thanks very much. Appreciate the time. If there's anything I can do to support, reach out. I'm there.